If you are in your senior year, stop doing these 7 things right now. Welcome back and a truly good morning to you. What I'm about to share today is profoundly important, something that merits your full and undivided attention. The insights I'm going to reveal have the potential to fundamentally alter the course and quality of the remaining years of your life. I am Dr. Daniel Hayes, and for over 2 decades, I've dedicated my professional life to geriatric medicine and longevity research. In my practice, I've had the privilege of sitting with thousands of patients, individuals in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Through these countless conversations and observations, a recurring pattern has emerged. I've seen these wonderful people repeatedly make the same few crucial mistakes. These aren't minor oversights. They're habits that slowly but surely diminish their physical strength, cloud their precious memories, chip away at their independence, and ultimately steal their everyday joy. The truly heartbreaking aspect of this is that almost no one ever informed them that these seemingly innocent actions were detrimental. Today, we are taking a decisive step to change that narrative. I want you to absorb this information with absolute clarity. A groundbreaking study meticulously published by the National Institute on Aging followed a massive cohort of over 12,000 adults. These participants, aged between 60 and 85, were observed for a remarkable period of 10 years. What the researchers uncovered was nothing short of astonishing. The individuals who consciously chose to eliminate just 3 specific daily habits from their routines experienced truly profound benefits. They were a remarkable 61% less likely to suffer from significant physical decline, showcasing a sustained vitality. Furthermore, they demonstrated a striking 47% lower probability of developing cognitive impairment, indicating sharper minds and preserved memory. Perhaps most compellingly, these same individuals reported quality of life scores that were nearly double those of their peers who maintained the old habits. Double! And here's the truly empowering part of this discovery. A significant number of these life-changing modifications were adopted by people after they had already reached the age of 70. This underscores a powerful truth. It is genuinely never too late to make positive changes that profoundly impact your health and well-being. Before we delve into the comprehensive list, allow me to give you a compelling preview. The single most crucial item on today's list, the number 1 habit we'll discuss, is something that almost every senior adult engages in and day out, often right after waking without a moment's thought. In fact, this habit is so deeply embedded in our daily culture and routines that most doctors have never even considered advising their patients to cease it. It is that pervasive. So, please make sure you stay with me until the very end, because the revelation of this number 1 habit might genuinely come as a complete shock to you. But before we dive into the countdown, I'd like to ask you something on a personal note. Please take a moment to share your age in the comments section below. Additionally, I'd love to hear, what is that one health habit you've cultivated or maintained in your senior years that you are most genuinely proud of? I personally read every single comment that comes through on this channel, without exception. Your valuable answers not only inspire the topics and insights I choose to cover in future discussions, but they also serve as a profound source of inspiration for each other within this growing community. So please take a moment, leave a thoughtful comment, and together, let's continue to build this vibrant and supportive community. Now, let's get right into the heart of it. We're going to count down from 7 to 1, with each habit progressively increasing in importance, culminating in an absolutely life-changing insight. Consuming 3 large meals daily. Let's begin our countdown with a habit that might seem completely benign, even traditional. The routine of eating 3 large meals every single day. For many of us, this pattern, a substantial breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is deeply ingrained. It's what we were taught from childhood, what nutrition guides have historically recommended, and what countless individuals have followed throughout their entire lives. It feels normal, even healthy. However, what these long-standing recommendations often overlook, especially for an aging body, is a crucial biological shift. As we pass the age of 65, our digestive system undergoes a significant and often unacknowledged slowdown. The production of gastric acid, vital for breaking down food, can decrease by as much as 40%. The output of digestive enzymes also wanes, and our gut's overall efficiency in absorbing nutrients from large quantities of food diminishes considerably. This means that the hearty dinner plate you might have easily processed in your 40s is simply not being handled the same way by your body after 70. It's akin to asking a smaller, older engine to process the same large volume of fuel it once did. It simply can't do it as efficiently or effectively. Researchers at the University of Southern California's Longevity Institute brought this to light with their profound findings. They demonstrated that seniors who consciously shifted their eating patterns to include 4 to 5 smaller, more nutrient-dense meals, carefully spaced throughout the day, experienced remarkable improvements. Within a mere 12 weeks, these participants showed a 34% enhancement in protein synthesis, crucial for maintaining muscle, and a 28% reduction in markers of systemic inflammation. This isn't just theory, it's proven science. Think of your digestive system when you're over 70, not as needing less fuel overall, but rather needing that fuel delivered in smaller, more frequent batches. This allows your body to truly burn it efficiently, extracting maximum nutrients without overwhelming the system. I recall one particular patient, Margaret, a sprightly 74-year-old woman from Tucson, Arizona. She came to me utterly exhausted, feeling constantly bloated after every meal, and genuinely convinced that something was seriously wrong with her health. Upon reviewing her dietary habits, I discovered a common yet detrimental pattern. She was eating a very small breakfast, followed by one enormous dinner. This feast or famine approach is, in fact, one of the most stressful and counterproductive eating patterns for aging bodies. We meticulously restructured her daily intake into 5 smaller, well-balanced meals, each rich in high-quality protein and healthy fats. The transformation was astonishing. Within just 2 months, her energy levels soared. Margaret excitedly told me she felt as if she had been given back a decade of her life. The practical application of this research and experience is wonderfully straightforward. Aim for a meal or a substantial snack every 3 to 4 hours. Critically, each of these smaller meals should contain at least 25 to 30 grams of protein. Why so much? Because after the age of 70, your body actually requires more protein per pound of body weight than it did in your 30s. This is due to a phenomenon called anabolic resistance, where your muscles become less efficient at responding to protein intake. Therefore, you need to provide them with a greater quantity to achieve the same muscle building and maintenance effects. Complement each meal with a small portion of healthy fats, such as a drizzle of olive oil or a slice of avocado. These healthy fats are not just for energy. They significantly enhance the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, which are absolutely critical for maintaining strong bones and a robust immune system as you age. Taking long, hot showers every day. I can almost feel the collective resistance to this next point. But I implore you to stay with me because the underlying science is genuinely fascinating. And once you fully grasp what is happening to your skin and your circulatory system after the age of 65, your perspective on your daily shower will be forever altered. As we age, our skin's natural ability to produce oils diminishes significantly. The sebaceous glands responsible for this protective lubrication slow down their activity. Consequently, the skin's vital barrier becomes noticeably thinner and more fragile, and its capacity to retain essential moisture drops dramatically. Enter hot water, especially prolonged exposure to it. Hot water vigorously strips away the remaining lipid barrier that protects your skin, leading to a phenomenon scientifically known as transepidermal water loss. In simpler, more understandable terms, it effectively dries your skin out from the inside. A rigorous study conducted by a team of leading dermatologists at Johns Hopkins University revealed a striking correlation. Adults over the age of 65 who regularly indulged in hot showers lasting more than 10 minutes exhibited a staggering 52% higher incidence of chronic dry skin conditions. They also showed increased inflammatory responses in their skin and, crucially, a measurably weakened immune barrier within the skin itself, making them more susceptible to various irritations and infections. But here's where the danger becomes particularly acute and interesting for seniors. Hot showers cause a rapid dilation of your blood vessels, which in turn leads to a sudden and often significant drop in blood pressure. After the age of 70, your cardiovascular system's ability to quickly and effectively compensate for these abrupt changes in pressure slows down considerably. This physiological lag is, in fact, one of the leading yet most underreported causes of dizziness and debilitating falls that frequently occur in the bathroom among older adults. Statistically, the bathroom is recognized as the single most dangerous room in the home for individuals over 65, and the temperature of your shower is a hidden yet highly impactful contributing factor to this risk. The good news is that the solution is not to stop showering altogether, which would be impractical. Instead, it's a simple, actionable adjustment. Lower the water temperature to a comfortable warm rather than intensely hot setting. Limit your shower time to a maximum of 8 minutes or less. Crucially, immediately after stepping out of the shower, while your skin is still slightly damp, apply a high-quality ceramide-rich moisturizer. This strategic application helps to effectively lock in moisture and reinforce your skin's protective barrier. For an added circulatory benefit, consider concluding your shower with a brief 30-second burst of cool water. This technique, known as contrast hydrotherapy, has been scientifically studied by researchers at the University of Oregon, who found that it significantly improves vascular tone and helps to reduce next-day fatigue in older adults, leaving you feeling more invigorated. Avoiding resistance training due to joint pain. This particular habit represents one of the most perilous and widespread myths I consistently encounter in my medical practice, and it is silently but surely costing countless seniors precious years of their functional independence. The deeply ingrained notion that if your knees ache or your hips hurt, the most logical course of action is to rest and completely avoid exercise sounds perfectly reasonable on the surface. However, the rigorous science and clinical experience tell a profoundly different and much more empowering story. Your muscles and your bones do not operate independently. They exist in a dynamic and synergistic partnership. When your muscles weaken, they don't alleviate stress on your joints, quite the opposite. They place an increased burden on them. Actively avoiding resistance training after the age of 65 dramatically accelerates a debilitating process known as sarcopenia, which is the age-related and progressive loss of muscle mass. Alarmingly, after the age of 70, the human body can lose up to a staggering 3% of its vital muscle mass per year if it does not engage in active resistance training. By the time many sedentary seniors reach 80, they may have lost a shocking 30 to 40% of the muscle they possessed at 50. This isn't merely about superficial appearance. That foundational muscle mass is what keeps you upright and stable, prevents dangerous falls, maintains a healthy metabolism, and critically keeps your bones dense and strong. A groundbreaking study conducted by Tufts University provided compelling evidence. They followed a group of adults ranging in age from 72 to 98 who participated in a progressive resistance training program twice a week. After a mere 10 weeks, The participants showed an astonishing average increase of 113% in strength. They also experienced significant improvements in balance, notably faster walking speeds, and in several inspiring cases, they reported reduced joint pain, not an increase. The researchers unequivocally concluded that frailty itself, rather than chronological age, was the primary problem, and perhaps most importantly, that frailty is a reversible condition. I remember working with a remarkable man named Harold, an 81-year-old from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Harold arrived in my office convinced that his body was simply falling apart. He had, regretfully, given up walking more than a single block because his knees constantly hurt. We started him on a simple chair-based resistance program utilizing light resistance bands just twice a week for only 20 minutes per session. 4 months later, the transformation was incredible. Harold was joyfully walking a mile every single morning. He emotionally told me he hadn't felt that sense of physical freedom and capability in 15 years. So, where do you begin? Start with seated resistance exercises using light resistance bands or even just your own body weight. Focus diligently on engaging the large muscle groups, your thighs, glutes, and back. Here's a powerful synergy tip. Make sure to consume your protein-rich meal within 30 minutes after your resistance training session. This crucial post-exercise window is when your muscles are most receptive to amino acids for repair and growth. For seniors, especially those experiencing anabolic resistance, this precise timing is not merely optional, it is absolutely essential for maximizing your efforts. Relying entirely on reading glasses and avoiding vision training. Here's a significant piece of information that most eye doctors, perhaps due to time constraints or traditional approaches, rarely share with their patients. Your vision, much like a muscle, possesses the capacity to respond to targeted training. The natural lens of your eye and the delicate ciliary muscles that control its focusing power inevitably weaken with age, a condition medically termed presbyopia. This is simply the clinical description for age-related near vision loss, a common and often accepted part of aging. Most people, upon experiencing this, simply resign themselves to it, acquiring progressively stronger reading glasses and operating under the assumption that this decline is both inevitable and irreversible. However, it's vital to remember that the ciliary muscles are still fundamentally muscles. Breakthrough research published in the prestigious journal Scientific Reports, conducted by a dedicated team at the University of California, Riverside, unveiled compelling findings. They discovered that just 30 minutes of daily near-far focusing exercises, when combined with an adequate dietary intake of lutein and zeaxanthin, powerful antioxidants found in certain foods, led to measurable and significant improvements in reading speed and overall visual clarity in adults over 60, all within a matter of mere weeks. While these exercises won't entirely eliminate the need for glasses, they can dramatically slow the progression of presbyopia and reduce your dependency on ever stronger lenses over time. Beyond the lens itself, the brain's complex visual processing centers also experience a slowdown with age. After 70, your contrast sensitivity, that is, your crucial ability to distinguish objects from their backgrounds, especially in low light conditions, can decrease by up to 27%. This diminished capacity is one of the primary and often overlooked reasons why falls frequently occur in dimly lit environments. Actively training your eyes with these simple daily exercises, ensuring an adequate intake of vital nutrients like zinc and vitamin A through your diet, and thoughtfully optimizing the lighting in your home are all evidence-based strategies. Yet, for some reason, most seniors are simply never provided with this invaluable guidance. This is a perfect moment to pause and genuinely ask, if this channel has ever provided you with information your own doctor perhaps forgot to mention, please take a brief second right now to hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. It truly makes a significant difference, helping us to reach even more seniors who desperately need this vital, life-enhancing information, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Okay, now let's get right back to our crucial list. Sleeping more than 9 hours or relying on sleep aids regularly. This particular revelation often comes as a genuine surprise to many people, primarily because we are constantly told that sleep is inherently healing and restorative, and it absolutely is. However, the intricate relationship between sleep patterns and the aging process is far more nuanced and complex than most people fully grasp. Getting this relationship wrong is quietly inflicting significant damage on the brain health of millions of seniors around the globe. A monumental study originating from Harvard Medical School, which meticulously tracked over 14,000 adults for a substantial period of 8 years, uncovered a profoundly concerning statistic. Seniors who consistently slept more than 9 hours each night exhibited a staggering 46% higher risk of experiencing cognitive decline when compared to their counterparts who maintained a healthy sleep duration of between 7 and 8 hours. It's crucial to understand that this isn't because longer sleep itself is inherently harmful. Rather, chronically extended sleep often serves as a symptom of poor sleep quality, not genuine restorative rest. And it is this poor quality sleep, characterized by fragmented cycles, a reduction in vital deep sleep stages, and insufficient REM sleep, that critically fails to effectively clear the metabolic waste products that naturally accumulate in the brain on a daily basis. Your brain actually possesses a literal, dedicated cleaning system known as the glymphatic system. You can envision it as a highly efficient nighttime sanitation crew that meticulously washes through your brain, diligently removing cellular debris, including the notorious amyloid plaques that are so strongly associated with Alzheimer's disease. However, the glymphatic system only operates effectively and at its peak efficiency during the deep stages of sleep, and it is most active and productive during the initial 6 to 7 hours of sleep. Spending 9 or 10 hours in bed often translates to several additional hours of fragmented, light sleep that simply doesn't trigger any of this essential brain cleaning. Furthermore, regarding the regular use of sleep aids, particularly common over-the-counter antihistamine-based products like diphenhydramine, the research findings are genuinely alarming. A study published in the prestigious JAMA Internal Medicine Journal revealed a significant and troubling correlation between the consistent use of anticholinergic sleep aids and an increased risk of dementia in older adults. These medications possess the ability to cross the delicate blood-brain barrier, where they act to reduce acetylcholine, which is a key neurotransmitter absolutely vital for memory and cognitive function. With repeated and prolonged use, these substances can induce lasting and detrimental changes in brain chemistry. I had a patient named Dorothy, a 78-year-old woman from Portland, Oregon. Dorothy was sleeping 10 hours every night, yet she still woke up feeling utterly exhausted. She had been taking a common sleep aid for 3 consecutive years. When we conducted her cognitive assessments, her scores had been quietly yet consistently declining. We carefully weaned her off the medication, implemented a strict 7-hour sleep window, introduced magnesium glycinate before bed, and thoroughly addressed her overall sleep hygiene. Within just 4 months, her cognitive scores significantly improved. Her energy levels soared, and she excitedly told me that the persistent fog she had been living in for years had finally begun to lift. If sleep is a struggle for you, prioritize establishing consistent sleep and wake times, adhering to them every single day, even on weekends. Ensure your bedroom temperature is cool, ideally between 65 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Avoid all screens, phones, tablets, TVs, for at least 60 minutes before bedtime. And consider taking 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate approximately 30 minutes before sleep. Pair this with a calming chamomile or passion flower tea for a natural synergy that effectively supports GABA, brain's primary calming neurotransmitter, all without the dangerous side effects associated with pharmacological sleep aids. Drinking less water because you feel less thirsty. This particular habit may very well be the single most overlooked and dangerously underestimated health crisis currently impacting seniors across the globe. And the profound reason it is so perilous is precisely because of its insidious, invisible nature. You simply do not feel it happening. Let's delve into the underlying biology. As we naturally age, a critical part of our brain called the hypothalamus, which is specifically responsible for regulating our thirst sensation, becomes progressively less sensitive. By the time most adults reach the age of 70, they exhibit a significantly blunted thirst response. This means you can be in a state of clinical dehydration and yet feel completely fine without any sensation of thirst. Your body is no longer reliably sending you the crucial warning signals it once did in your younger years. A compelling study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that an astonishing 40% of community-dwelling seniors over 70 are chronically, albeit mildly, dehydrated, and most have absolutely no awareness of their condition. Now, you might reasonably wonder, does mild dehydration truly matter that much? The answer, regrettably, is devastating. Even mild chronic dehydration in seniors is directly linked to a substantial 30% increase in urinary tract infections, UTIs, which are a leading cause of sudden cognitive decline and subsequent hospitalization among the elderly. Furthermore, it significantly elevates the risk of painful kidney stones, contributes to chronic constipation, and can lead to dangerous concentrations of common medications in the blood. This is because many widely used medications are water soluble and rely on adequate hydration to maintain proper blood levels for their intended efficacy and safety. Crucially, dehydration directly impairs cognitive function. Research from King's College London found that even a barely perceptible 1 to 2% dehydration, a level you often cannot feel, measurably reduces short-term memory, concentration, and reaction time in older adults. Your skin, your joints, the vital discs between your vertebrae, and your eyes, all of these essential bodily components rely on adequate hydration to function correctly and optimally. After the age of 75, your kidney's ability to concentrate urine diminishes significantly, meaning you excrete more water relative to your intake. Consequently, you actually need more water than you think to maintain a healthy internal balance. The practical hydration target for most seniors is a minimum of 6 to 8 cups of water per day, and it's essential to consume this consistently throughout the day rather than attempting to drink large amounts all at once. A simple and effective method is to keep a 32-ounce water bottle visibly present at all times and commit to finishing its contents twice by the end of each day. To enhance cellular absorption, consider adding a small pinch of high-quality Himalayan salt or an electrolyte supplement, ensuring it's sugar-free, to 1 glass daily. Complement this by incorporating hydrating foods into your diet, particularly cucumbers, watermelon, and leafy greens, which provide what's known as structured water that absorbs more efficiently than plain water alone. Sitting within 30 minutes of waking up. And now, the moment I promised you, the single most impactful revelation on our list. The one habit that almost every entertaining unknowingly engages in every single morning. A habit that is subtly but profoundly eroding their overall health, dimming their brain function, and chipping away at their precious independence. And that profoundly simple yet damaging thing is sitting down within 30 minutes of waking up. I know, you likely did not see that coming. But let me explain what the science unequivocally shows, and it is truly remarkable in its implications. The human body is equipped with a specific and highly evolved cortisol awakening response. In the critical first 30 to 45 minutes immediately after you wake up, cortisol, your body's primary stress and alertness hormone, naturally surges by a significant 50 to 100% above its baseline level. This powerful physiological event is your body's innate biological alarm clock. It is meticulously preparing your cardiovascular system, sharpening your brain, and priming your muscles for the demands and activities of the day ahead. For seniors, this particular window represents one of the most potent and vital biological events of their entire day. When you immediately sit down after waking, whether it's in a comfortable chair with your morning coffee, at the breakfast table, or settling onto the couch with the television, you inadvertently send a powerful signal to your body that the day's physical demands are already over before they've even begun. Research from the esteemed University of Queensland, published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, meticulously analyzed the activity patterns of over 5,000 adults aged 65 and older. Their findings were striking. Those individuals who remained sedentary in the crucial first hour after waking exhibited significantly higher rates of metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular events, and observable cognitive decline over a 5-year follow-up period. This was found to be independent of how much physical exercise they engaged in later in the day. But here's the deeper physiological mechanism that makes this habit especially critical for aging bodies. During this morning surge, cortisol possesses potent anti-inflammatory properties. It actively suppresses joint stiffness, effectively clears the residual sleep-related inflammation from your tissues, and primes your muscles for optimal engagement. When you sit still throughout this vital window, the cortisol has nowhere to go. It circulates without serving its intended biological purpose, and chronically misused or undirected cortisol is directly linked to an increase in harmful visceral fat, accelerated bone density loss, and impaired immune function. Furthermore, this 30 to 45 minute window immediately after waking is precisely when your muscles are most sensitive and receptive to movement-induced signals for growth and repair. Research from Maastricht University in the Netherlands compellingly demonstrated that even light physical activity immediately after waking significantly increased muscle protein synthesis rates throughout the entire day in adults over 65, even when that morning movement was gentle and brief. We are not talking about strenuous exercise. We are talking about a leisurely 10-minute slow walk, some gentle stretching, standing exercises, or any form of mild, gentle movement that awakens the body in the way it was biologically designed to be woken. I want to share the inspiring story of Robert. Robert was a 77-year-old gentleman from Nashville, Tennessee. He had been retired for 12 years and had settled into a deeply ingrained morning routine. Wake up, pour coffee, sit in his recliner, watch the morning news for an hour, and then finally eat breakfast. He told me he constantly felt depleted of energy. His joints ached every single morning for the first 2 hours of the day, and he reported feeling mentally foggy until well into the early afternoon. His blood work revealed elevated inflammatory markers, pre-diabetic glucose levels, and lower than optimal testosterone for his age. We made just one simple change, a single commitment. For 21 consecutive days, Robert committed to taking a 10-minute walk outside within 15 minutes of waking up, before the coffee, before the chair, before the television. He then returned home, had his breakfast, enjoyed his coffee, and proceeded with his day as he wished. Within just 3 weeks, Robert called my office, and I will never forget the profound words he spoke. He said, "Dr. Hayes, I feel like someone turned a light back on inside me. His morning joint stiffness had dramatically reduced. His midday energy had significantly improved. His fasting glucose levels had dropped. One small change, 10 minutes of movement for 21 days. The perfect synergy pairing for this vital habit is natural light. The moment you step outside or even stand at a brightly lit window during that crucial morning movement, you trigger a natural serotonin release that is perfectly timed with the cortisol awakening response. This powerful combination meticulously sets your circadian rhythm for the entire day, significantly improves your nighttime melatonin production, stabilizes your mood, and has been shown in multiple scientific studies to effectively reduce the risk of seasonal depression in older adults. Morning movement combined with morning light is, without a doubt, one of the most potent, entirely free, and side effect-free interventions available in all of longevity medicine. And yet, almost no one is talking about it. All references for the scientific studies I have mentioned today are meticulously linked in the description below this video, and I strongly encourage you to read them and delve deeper into this vital information. Now, allow me to bring this message home for you, because this discussion is not merely about abstract biology or dry statistics. This is profoundly about your life. This is about whether you choose to spend the next decade passively watching life happen from the confines of a chair, or whether you choose to be fully present, capable, fiercely independent, and genuinely alive in every single room you walk into, in every experience you embrace. I have personally witnessed patients in their late 80s reverse medical conditions that their previous doctors had unequivocally told them were permanent. I have seen individuals who could barely walk across a parking lot transform into daily, enthusiastic walkers within a matter of months. I have watched cognitive clarity and sharpness miraculously return to people who had genuinely begun to feel afraid of their own minds. And in every single one of these inspiring cases, the pivotal turning point was not a new medication, not a complex surgery, and certainly not some miraculous intervention. It was simply information, the right information consistently applied. You now possess that invaluable information. 7 crucial things, simple changes that cost absolutely nothing, require no prescription, and can genuinely begin today. Your incredible body is not betraying you. It is merely responding to the inputs and signals it is consistently given. Change those inputs, make these conscious adjustments, and you will be absolutely amazed at what this incredible human body of yours still has the extraordinary capacity to do, to achieve, and to enjoy. If this video has reached you at precisely the right moment, if something shared here has resonated deeply with where you are in your life right now, please do not hesitate to share it with someone you love, someone who truly needs to hear this vital message. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, consider this your heartfelt invitation to join us. We consistently publish new, thoroughly research-backed content every single week. Content specifically designed for adults over 60 who bravely refuse to accept that decline is an inevitable part of aging, because it most certainly is not. Subscribe today, turn on that notification bell, and join a thriving community of people who are actively choosing to live fully, vibrantly, and independently at every single age. And now, I truly want to hear from you. In the comments section below, please tell me this. Which of these 7 transformative habits are you going to commit to working on first? And what is one significant thing you have already changed in your senior years that has made a real, tangible difference in your life? I will be reading every single response, and your inspiring story might just be the spark for our next video. Take excellent care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.